In this video, we're going to go over the strategy to get to 10K per day in your clothing brand using ads. And this is going to be centered around meta ads. The game has definitely changed in comparison from even just a few months ago. There's a new update called Andromeda that they just made, and it completely changed the game 100%. There's no using the same formula anymore. And if it hasn't hit your account quite yet, it will hit your account very soon because it's hit most account, like 90% of accounts now. We're going to go over that. This is the new strategy. And this is coming from a person who's a founder of a multi-million-dollar brand. We've got our silver Shopify bag here, which means that we've gotten over 100,000 orders. And then we also made the Inc. 5000 list for 2025, which is the top 5,000 companies in America. So I'm on the ground, like learning all of these. You're going to be in there a little bit. So that means that I'm basically on the ground learning about all these things as they change. So let's get into it. Now, everything has changed because of the Meta Andromeda update. And the big change, the biggest thing that you're going to find out is that now meta ads has kind of just become like social media for the most part. And the way that is because instead of creating a couple of pieces of content and then running ads behind it, and then those just kind of last, you're now kind of forced to make content almost every week and upload it every week, just as if you were to do it for your social media. And so it's a good thing and a bad thing because there's obviously not a lot of people who are going to want to do that. But it's also, we basically now have to run 2 Instagrams at this point. And so it's a big change that just happened. So the old way of doing things used to be micro creative tests. So we would get 1 or 2, maybe 3 big concepts that you wanted to test, and you would change like the hooks of all of those videos, or you would change the copy on all of the images, or you change the color of all of the text or something like that, right? That is completely gone away with. Like, cannot do that anymore. The way that Andromeda works is it likes a volume of content, but it has to all be different content. Like the whole concept will be different. You're not testing just hooks and then the rest of the video is the same. You're literally changing the copy, the video, the setting, the whole concept of the video, the story, all of that stuff is changing. And you're having to do that a lot of times. 5 to 10 creatives every 2 weeks minimum. Now, no longer are we focusing on audience training. Andromeda knows what your audience is. Your job is to give it enough creative to send it to that niche of people for them to have enough touch points to end up buying. And so you're not trying to train your own audience anymore. Andromeda knows what your audience is because it has the data from all of the different accounts that are like yours on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. So we're not audience training anymore. And we're also not niching down audiences. We're not doing like retargeting or anything like that. And then the last thing is that we're not doing multiple ad sets or multiple campaigns unless absolutely necessary. There are some cases where you're going to have multiple campaigns, but in every campaign, it's just one ad set. And you're just putting all of your creative in that one ad set and you're letting that run. The way that Andromeda works is incredibly different than the last way, where we would really focus on specific tests and training the audiences through the ad sets to offer different offers to the customers. So now the new way of doing it is that's actually not right. This is actually supposed to say macro creative testing. So what that means is, like I said before, the full video needs to be different. The full image needs to be different. You're not just trying to do hook tests. You're not changing the hook and then the rest of the video is the same. You're changing the entire video. You're doing the entire ad different from beginning to end. And so you want to test on a macro level, big test, big swings and differences between each different ad. Another thing that's different is what I call creative flooding. So you're basically just throwing as much in there as possible from the broad spectrum of different touch points. So like whether the person is product aware or not, or knows about your brand, you're making creative for all different types of people that are in there, right? And I'm going to show you exactly how that works in the next section of this training. But I call it creative flooding. You need to have a very broad spectrum of content to test, different angles, all that type of stuff. And then for the most part, if you're spending like a normal amount, you're going to have one single ad set and one single campaign. It's not like multiple campaigns anymore. You're not doing top of funnel campaign and then bottom of funnel campaign. You're not doing any of that stuff. You're just simply running single campaign, sales campaign, and a single ad set with pretty much broad targeting. It's like nothing is niched down at all. You just let Andromeda do all the work. So let me zoom out. Let's talk about how to make creative for Andromeda. And this is the way that you should be making content anyway, but a lot of people were able to get away with much more simple ad testing because of, being able to like just change the hook of a video or just changing the text color of a video and being able to get away with getting results from that. But that's no longer happening anymore. So you need to essentially create yourself a grid of different formats that serve different topics. So this is how you're able to do the content flooding process of it, is by taking every format that you want and you're going to pair that with every topic that you want. And then you get all of your different tests from that. So say you have a feature that you want to highlight, like maybe your clothing is reversible, or maybe your clothing has rhinestones on it, or whatever the specific feature that you want to show is there. You're going to get a video or two made that has UGC. You're going to get a video or two made that's just filmed on an iPhone. You're going to get a video or two that's filmed like with a high production camera and edited really well. You're going to get a talking head video. You're going to get images that are on your iPhone. You're going to get high production images of just that feature that you want to highlight, right? That's all that you're doing for this one thing. You're going to do all of these different pieces of content for that. Then say you have a special offer that you want to run, like maybe it's buy one, get one 50% off or 25% off for a specific amount of time. You're going to do the same thing. UGC for that, iPhone video for that, high production for that, talking head for that, and then down the line. Same with seasonal offers, same with testimonials, same with, storytelling, anything that you can do, founders ads. You're going to do all of these different topics and formats together. And of course, some of these formats don't work for founders ads. Some of these formats don't work for avatars, things like that. You're just going to make sure that you get as many of them done for each of these different topics. You're going to do all of these formats. And that's how you flood your ad account with top of funnel, bottom of funnel ads that are going to make sure that you're feeding Andromeda enough information, enough content for them to actually serve the customers that they know are going to want to buy. One of the last things is that you're going to want to make an effort to, as much as you possibly can, run partnership ads. And so partnership ads are basically when you create like a collab post with influencers or what have you, you can take that collab post and run it as an ad as a partner with that other person, with that influencer, creator, whatever. And these don't have to be ran with like really big influencers, really big creators. You can use micro creators that are in the niche that you're trying to serve. You get a collab post with those people and then you run that as an ad. It's pretty simple. And so with a combination of you doing the controlled media, which is this ad campaign builder, and then doing this pro tip, which is just, getting micro influencers or larger influencers to do partnership ads with you. That's the new meta. This whole thing right here, this is exactly what you need to be doing with Andromeda. And anyone who's really telling you otherwise just is trying to sell you some old course that they made and they don't want to remake the entire course. Because any course, any static piece of information that exists about Facebook ads, Meta ads, right now is now out of date. Andromeda made it out of date. So this is what you need to follow. If you want help one-on-one with me to figure this out for your brand, to actually set this up for your brand, you can click the link that's in the description to apply to work one-on-one with me in my mentorship program. Thanks for watching this video. Like, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff so that you can help out my small channel. And that's pretty much it. Go watch some more videos on the channel. I basically just break down a bunch of stuff that works for my multi-million-dollar brand, and I try and keep you as up to date as possible. So I'll see you in other videos.